Okay.
I have to film?
Yeah. Okay, so today I'm going to be telling a family history story. So I'm not involved in the story, sorry, but it's my grandpa Steve's. So I asked my grandpa Steve for a story because he's pretty crazy, and I thought he would have like some wild childhood stories, like maybe something funny. But he actually gave me kind of a sad story slash happy. So just be prepared for that. Okay, so my grandpa used to work for a power company, and they cleared trees off of power lines. Okay, so kind of dangerous job, but one time they were doing it on Highway 12, which is the second most dangerous highway in Washington State because it's like a super windy road. It's up by White Pass, if you know where that is. And people just drive really fast, and there's a lot of accidents. And so one day they were working up there, clearing the power lines, and my grandpa heard a huge crash. And so he goes running up to the crash, and there's like several cars just totaled into each other. And so he goes up to the first car that he sees, and there's a mom, a son, a daughter, and a dog. And he didn't know who was alive and who wasn't alive. He didn't know what was going on, but he was able to crawl into the car. It was pretty totaled, but he was able to crawl into the back seat where the little girl was and sit with her, and like he listened for her heartbeat, and she was still alive, but she was like unconscious and like gagging kind of. And so he looked in her mouth, and all of her teeth were busted out and like in her mouth. And so he had to reach his hand in and grab the teeth out and like blood and stuff. And then it turns out she was choking on her tongue. And so he pulled her tongue out of her throat, and then she was able to breathe again, but she was still in like really critical condition. And the son, the boy, was in the passenger seat, and his leg was snapped, but he was conscious the whole time. And my grandpa was just sitting in there talking to them. The mom was unconscious, and my grandpa didn't know what was going on with her, but the ambulance were called as soon as they heard the crash. And also the little kid's uncle came because he lived near and he heard about the crash, and he knew that they were driving. So he came, and he was there the whole time with them. So they were just like consulting the two kids, and eventually the ambulance came and got everyone that was involved in the accident, took them to the hospital. And a couple days later, my grandpa was still working on the Highway 12, and the uncle that was there for a little bit came up, and he was like, "Which one of you sat with my daughter and or my niece?" And my grandpa was like, "That was me." And he was like, "Well, you saved her life because the EMT said whatever you did, she wouldn't have made it if you hadn't done it." So that was the story of when my grandpa saved a life. Kind of sad. The mom didn't make it, by the way. The dog did, the son did, the daughter did. The mom did not make it, but a life was still saved. So kind of a bittersweet story. Thank you.